Good evening. It is 7:09 p.m., September 16th, 2020. And I hereby call to order this meeting of the Village of Tivoli Board of Trustees. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Start with the village clerk's report. Clerk Bruno, please.
Yes. There were 488 trash bags sold. 2 payrolls were processed. The deputy clerk continues with the planning and zoning boards, and meetings are being held here in Foster Hall now. Monday, October 12th, the office will be closed in observance of Columbus Day. And to round out the clerk's report, I would like to offer congratulations to Trustee Schneider and to Deputy Mayor Major on their re-elections last night, along with Judge Clark.
And the total voter count was 76?
76 total voters.
Very good. All right. I think I'll have to close this window because we can hear that one person all right on their skateboard. All right. Thank you, Clerk Bruno. Trustees, we have a single set of minutes from our August regular board meeting in your binders. Is there a motion to approve the August 19 regular board meeting minutes?
So moved.
That was moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Trustee Schneider. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved. I have here the treasurer's report. And I do believe this might be one of the biggest that has come across the table. This month in the general fund, we spent $77,574.61. And in the capital fund, this was all related to water and the water project. This large amount I'm about to read is EFC grant and loan money moving through the village and back to the Water Authority, who's managing the capital project. And that amount was $1,191,404.77. And the grand total this month's treasurer's report, $1,268,979.38. And we don't get to keep that money very long. We have to send it right off to the Water Authority. It's a pass-through because Tivoli won the grant and the loan financing. So it comes to us, and then we send it to the Water Authority. Foxwoods?
We send it to Fox, yes.
Right. In a parallel universe, perhaps.
Right.
Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there a motion to pay the bills, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills may be paid. I'm very pleased to say we have a zoning report this month.
I saw that.
Trustee Esrati, if you would be so kind, please.
Yes. This will be the first time in 4 months, I think, that we have a zoning report. It's not because the code enforcement officer hasn't been doing things. He has been, but in this past period, he has issued 4 building permits, reviewed and issued. He has performed 5 building inspections, received and investigated no complaints, issued 5 zoning violations, and entered into 8 municipal searches. This usually is the result of a real estate transaction, and scheduled no fire inspections.
And that was for July and August, I see. Thank you, Trustee Esrati. We're not joined by any members of the public this evening, so we'll go right into regular business. First thing is to accept the AUD. And to be clear, so on the agenda here it says 2020, but that's fiscal year 1920, right? Which we call 2020. Yeah. The AUD is the big fat document that shows all of the village's financial dealings over a fiscal year. Our fiscal years are June 1 to May 31. These are always available at the clerk's office. You can read them. They're actually really useful documents that I've poured through, 12, 13, 14 years ago to see what we were spending on various things. It's actually pretty interesting. And that's where all your money is, taxpayers. So every year that's prepared by our consultant, Michelle Zagorski, and then submitted to the state comptroller. We do have one slight amendment, and Clerk Bruno, I just want to get this clear. So we're going to approve the AUD with the following amendment, which then Michelle will complete, and it will go to the state comptroller. And that amendment is that the fund balance be reduced by $16,473.30, and that the Fire Capital Reserve Fund be increased by that same amount, which again is $16,473.30. And with that, the AUD will be buttoned up, and we can close it. So trustees, we discussed that amendment in our workshop, and at this time I would ask for a motion to accept the 2020 AUD.
So moved. Second.
Okay, that was Schneider followed by Israeli. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have also a Justice Court audit for 2020. We just looked that over in the last few minutes. Is there a motion to accept the 2020 Justice Court audit?
So moved. Second.
That was Cole followed by Major. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the court audit is accepted. Trustees, in your binder, we have a resolution authorizing the Village of Tivoli to send a letter to the Secretary of State requesting that the New York State Department of State assist Tivoli and other interested communities in creating a regional Hudson River access plan. This is a very long resolution with a lot of whereases, and we had a lot of help from our friends, Scenic Hudson, great champions of our river, our environment, and definitely public access to the Hudson River. A number of our neighboring communities who have a stake down at the riverfront to the north and south of us are doing similar resolutions. And this is, as I just read, to ask New York State, who has a responsibility to oversee the coastal management plan of the state, which talks about public access and particularly not reducing public access. It's one of their responsibilities. So we would like to write them a letter and say, please take a good hard look at what's happening, what Amtrak's proposing with their gating and fencing in various locations. And particularly at Scenic Hudson, many people participated in that over the last year, did produce they got a consultant, they produced a very significant, lots of data points, lots of comments, document, which was about, mapping public access, where people are using the river, how they're using the river, and that could be something that would help the Department of State produce their regional Hudson River access plan. So the letter probably won't be as long as the resolution itself, actually. So with that explanation, is there a motion to authorize us to send a letter?
I move the resolution. This board, at least the current members and the members who preceded them for at least as long as I've been on the board, and for 25 years before that, has been working very, very diligently to maintain access to the river. This is very important to us. So I move the resolution.
Someone like to second that?
Second.
All right, that was Deputy Mayor.
But also, a lot of Tivolians did participate in Scenic Hudson's call for
Absolutely.
Contribution. Just, what are your stories about, your experiences with the river? What is your connection to the river? And so thank you to all of them who took the time.
Yes. We've had a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? I would just like to say thank you to Scenic Hudson, everyone who participated, our colleagues up and down the river in Dutchess and Columbia counties. It's really been a sense of a regional effort. You know, we're stronger together, we're bigger together, and, you know, we're all in favor of maximizing safety along the rail corridor, but also would like to enhance, increase, and certainly not reduce public access. So with that, do a roll call vote, please. Deputy Mayor Major?
Aye.
Trustee Cole?
Aye.
Trustee Israedi?
Aye.
And Trustee Schneider?
Aye.
I also vote aye. The resolution is adopted, and we'll get that letter off on some Tivoli letterhead to the Secretary of State. Okay, we have a resolution adopting the new retention schedule. Whereas the Office of State Archives, New York State Education Department has issued a new schedule, LGS-1, required for use by all local governments. This is essentially how long you need to keep certain records, various records. It's a big document, and we have to comply with it, so we're going to comply with it. And this will be something that clerk and I will study and follow the new guidance, the new schedule. Is there a motion to authorize the adoption of the new records retention schedule?
Yes, I move.
Deputy Mayor, is there seconded by?
Spoken like a true historian.
Yes.
Retain those records.
Retain those records. And that was seconded by Trustee Schneider. Roll call, please. Deputy Mayor Major?
Aye.
Trustee Cole?
Aye.
Trustee Israedi?
Aye.
And Trustee Schneider?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Lastly, we have an award for a bid on the Park Improvements Project. This was a community development block grant that we won last year. And we're not going to be able to do everything we want to do at the park, but essentially this is to repave a lot of the paths, make it all, you know, ADA, the paths that are sort of sunken and old, and, you know, they're going to be built up and widened a little bit. Total overhaul of the bathrooms, which is definitely one of the big things, and some other items, repaving under the pavilion, hopefully, and probably at long last, the introduction of a security camera at our park to attempt to stop this chronic vandalism of the bathrooms, which is just ridiculous. It's upsetting. It's a total waste of money. Those bathrooms belong to you people, all of us, and there's always a few bad apples who trash them. And in order to sort of protect this money, this investment, and make sure that they're, you know, in the condition that we all deserve, that's one of the features. So we got 3 bids. Bids were $1,187,000, $1,187,000, $207,400, and the lowest bidder, and the one that we would award to, is $137,818. We bid this, literally a list of each and every item, from every seesaw to park bench to garbage can. So while we are going to award the base bid to Maida Construction, which is $137,000, we are going to be carefully combing through that and trying to cut it down since the grant amount is $70,000. And we'll have a little bit of time to maybe look at some other places for some other assistance and money to try and get as much done of our druthers as we can. So with that, is there a motion to adopt this resolution authorizing the award for the Tivoli Park renovation project to Maida Construction Incorporated at the base bid amount of $137,818?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there some discussion? I would just like to say that, you know, I think the park is one of the most important amenities in the village. You know, we can't use it the way we'd like to right now due to the pandemic, and I'll just digress there and say I think this board has been very diligent in their duty to protect public health. We've made some tough decisions about basketball courts, etc. So I want to thank the board for doing what may be sort of short-term, tougher politically, but the right choice for public health, so. Yeah, we hope to get this thing spruced up, fixed up, and I hope people enjoy it. So I'm very excited about it, and you know, we've done well with these CDBG grants, winning them, spending them, and getting others, so.
This is the third one that's been awarded in 3 years, isn't it? Is it not?
I think there was third in 4 years.
Third and fourth.
Pine Street Phase 1, Pine
Yeah.
Street Phase 2, took a year off maybe, Crosswalk, and then this park, so,
And the
The
idea
north
is,
side of Midtown is gonna be looking very spiffy.
yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Where's Midtown again? Tivoli?
The north side of Midtown Tivoli.
Thank you. We're gonna do a roll call vote here. Deputy Mayor Major,
Aye.
Trustee Cole,
Aye.
Trustee Israedi,
I,
Trustee Schneider,
Aye.
and I also vote aye. And the resolution is adopted. Congratulations to Maida Construction, and we'll be working with the village engineer Crawford to pare back the 137 to something that we think is more feasible for our financial situation. But we'll still get some nice things done over there. Our next board meeting will be held on Wednesday, October 21st, 2020 at 7 p.m. with a workshop at 6 p.m. here at the historic Watts de Peyster Hall. Our regular workshop on October 14th at 7 p.m. Weather permitting, we've been doing those under the pavilion at the Harris Smith Post. I want to thank the members of the Post again for letting us use that space. If the weather's great, we'll be out there. I've actually really enjoyed meeting out
we
there.
have to keep doing them a little earlier every month.
We could consider that. 2 or 3 in the afternoon when the weather's still
You
good.
can do it during daylight.
Okay, moving on to committee reports. Trustee Israedi?
Yes, I have a sad thing to report. I have consulted with this board and with many people, and we've been silent on the street painting festival that was listed on the Tivoli Street Painting Festival as October 3rd. We have considered many alternatives to actually drawing 500 people into Tivoli, which in this current circumstances is simply not a good idea. And I've been, in the last week especially, really considering this prospect and whether we could do it virtually and some other things. But in the end, every plan I come up with requires people to gather together, and that is what we've been trying to avoid in order to reduce the transmission of the coronavirus. So it's with great regret that I say that the 20th annual festival will not occur this year.
Well, I know that's been a really hard decision, and it's been hard for all of us, but Susan, I know you've really gone through many imagined iterations of how this could happen, how something could happen in the COVID conditions, and I know you put a lot of work into it, so this decision was arrived at through the greatest deliberation, and I appreciate your work on it.
We will all miss it.
Yes, we will. And it'll be back one day when it's the right time. So-
But I haven't been idle, other than worrying. The trash committee is continuing to have very good discussions about what the best way is to deal with trash in Tivoli. And as with most committees, we swung one way and then we swung back another way. So we're not near a resolution, but we are doing some good digging into finding out just exactly how people take care of their trash. And what we've discovered is that not all Tivolians are alike. Surprise.
We've never been like homogeneity or something.
No. And not all parcels are alike. So I've just discovered today that Tivoli Gardens has an HOA fee that covers it, and that the board decides who's going to pick up the trash and how it's going to be dealt with. And so we will also be asking similar questions of our businesses, of the schoolhouse, of some of our other communities, just to have a good idea of what we're doing right now and how we can alter that.
Great. I believe one of your members has constructed a physical mock-up of an alternate sidewalk garbage receptacle and recycling receptacle.
Yes.
So I think he and I are going to go play with that this weekend. And,
Is that John Corcoran?
it might be Pete or John and Pete.
John and Pete.
But,
Okay. Okay.
So we're going to take this thing out. You know, we have those baskets on the poles.
That was fairly
It's not working
universally
perfectly.
determined to be in.
That's we're well aware. So, you know, we've got narrow sidewalks, and, you know, some other communities can have a nice big thing out there. But we did look at a couple of receptacles, and I think Pete actually hammered together a box.
Oh, okay.
That's the
Good.
size of these things.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing what you can spend. You can spend $2,000 on a garbage can.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to take that downtown and see if we can find some good spots to fit such a thing.
Okay.
So that'll be good.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Trustee Israeli. Trustee Schneider?
All right, so the Tivoli Village Court Charge Volume Summary Report. I want to take a minute and thank Court Clerk McGarry, as always, for preparing this for us. Total charges received were 5, and charges disposed totaled 1. This month, total money collected and remitted to the State Comptroller was actually 0.
Yeah, court just reopened in Tivoli, I think this past Monday, so they're probably backlogged like a lot of places. And then, thank you, Trustee Schneider. Trustee Cole, please.
All right. As many of you know, last Thursday night, we had a Zoom Village listening or actually discussion forum in response to the Zoom forum that we held at the end of June. That was a listening forum in which the board took in comments. And then last Thursday night, in a forum again moderated by the Dutchess County Human Rights Commission, we had a number of village residents log on and respond and give their opinion, and we responded as well. We responded to what we heard in the session at the end of June as a board. We put forth 3 ideas for discussion and reaction. One being, we want everyone to participate in the Dutchess County Police Reform and Modernization Plan. Dutchess County is running the process. They are holding these forums via Zoom. The Village of Tivoli, we are encouraged to participate on Saturday, September 26th from 3 to 5. You do have to register in advance. So please go to the Dutchess County website and look for that and click on the appropriate link. You can participate, any of us, any Dutchess County resident can participate in any of those forums, but it's being done by region of the county. So when the north portion of the county is done, that's when, if you're a Tivoli resident and you want to speak and say something, you'll be given a preference to do so. We also talked about the formation of a police incident encounter form that we would host on the village website. If any citizen has an unpleasant encounter with police or something they feel that needs to be looked into further, they could use that form. The form would go back to the mayor and the board of trustees. Again, these are simply ideas for discussion at this point. The third idea, we had much discussion around the formation of the Tivoli Community Coalition, which would involve 8 to 10 members of the community of Tivoli, many different types of residents, some that maybe have not been here as long as others, some students from the college, some longtime, lifetime residents, some newer residents. As with any village committee, this committee would be appointed by the mayor, input from the board of trustees, and would work to do really basically 2 things: enhance communication and connection with all stakeholders throughout the village. So it was a 2-hour forum. I speak, I think, for all of us on the board when we thank everyone who participated. As always, Tivolians joined in and spoke up. We appreciate that. We say a huge thanks to the Dutchess County Human Rights Commission, who once again moderated this event. Our moderators, Bailey and Freddie, were fantastic as usual, and we appreciate their time on 2 hours on a Thursday evening to be with our village and help us work through this process. And lastly, that's the key term. We are engaged as a board and as a village in a process. We have now had 2 sessions of public encounter. The next step will be that we as a board will meet. We will discuss and digest what we heard and what comments were made, and then talk about next steps and the next step in the process. So that was a really big event for the village. And again, thank you to everyone who participated. These are important issues. We are working with them, discussing, and we are hearing you. The second thing I would just ask you to kind of put on your radar, we know we have a general election coming on November 3rd. For those of you who are physically able to vote in person, if you are not at high risk for the virus and you choose to do so, Dutchess County has 5 sites for early voting. Early voting in Dutchess County opens up on Saturday, October 24th, and runs every single day through Sunday, November 1st. You can go to the Dutchess County website, search for early voting, and find the locations and times. The nearest location to Tivoli is the Rhinebeck Town Hall. So if you choose to do that, that's an option for you as well.
Thank you, Trustee Cole. I want to also remind the 5 of us, we need to register for the 26th if we haven't already,
Yes.
to make sure we're on that.
Yep.
Yes, huge thank you to everyone who participated, the Human Rights Commission, and also Erin Canan and the Bard College Center for Civic Engagement,
Absolutely.
and the 2 young Zoom bomb watchers that we had, Duncan and Anna. Excellent. Thanks to those guys. We couldn't have done the big Zoom without the Center for Civic Engagement, so great to work with them. And I don't have much to add to what Trustee Cole, it was a lot of work. It's important stuff. I think the conversation's building, and we're totally committed. We want Tivoli to be welcoming, safe, good place for everyone. It's all about quality of life and your experience here. And everyone is welcome here in the village. And we want to keep this community as strong and interconnected as possible.
And just one more thing on that. If you were not able to log on and you want to watch it, we would encourage you to go to the Panda website where the entire 2-hour forum is posted. And so feel free to log on and watch it. And then if you have comments or questions, you can always reach any of us on the board, certainly the mayor, and let us know. So.
And I would just like to thank the mayor and Angela for drafting a very excellent statement of options. I think the proof was in the pudding with the fact that the board read into the record what those options were and what those considerations were. And there was good discussion with a high diversity of views. So I felt like a lot of people were presented the views that they had and felt like needed to be aired. And it went the full 2 hours. For me, I was amazed when we got through to the end because it was an excellent discussion.
It certainly was. Deputy Mayor Major?
Yes. So the library, awesome as ever. Be sure to check them out online. They're operating with limited hours, but yeah, they're still keeping it real downstairs. The historic Red Hook hard scrabble day, ran into some technical difficulties, but they had produced a ton of content, which is really interesting. And you can see it on the website. So that's historicredhook.org. Check it out. Natural resources. We had talked a bit last time about the Empire State Trail going through the bays. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's kind of a wonder. The whole road has been, there's a new coating of stone dust, and then I like to refer to it as the hauler between Bard and the canoe launch has been paved. And there's bollards and guardrails and new gates so you can ride your bicycle through. And you can get going really fast on fresh pavement on a bicycle through there. Ho ho! Wear your helmets. And you can ride fast enough to stay away from the ticks. So that's good. And the latest on the canoe launch. I'd almost forgotten what it was because it's been so long since we've seen it. All the permits are in place, the contract was awarded, and there's just been so much, infrastructure stuff happening, and contractors are having a tough time scheduling. So, and it's a relatively small project. So, the idea is that it will be in place first thing in the spring. So, everyone will have time to get the walnuts out of their kayaks, which is where the squirrels store them at my house.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Want to let everyone know, if you haven't heard already, this Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon, is the annual Tivoli Shred Day that the village is always happy to partner with our fabulous library. And a truck will show up with, I think you were allowed 3 barrister boxes or legal boxes of stuff, and you can shred those extra things. I don't believe there's any fee for the public, just show up between 10 and noon. The tree committee got together this week and did a nice walk around the village. As part of Pine Street Phase 2, we took out a couple trees along Pine Street, so we're going to put a few trees back this fall. We lost one purple road locust on the south end of Montgomery Street, so we're doing at least 3 or 4 new trees this fall. And while I'm on it, it's just amazing how those grasses grew in the bioswale. They look really cool. Beautiful color, sort of like a two-tone offset thing. The siren, which we've been working on, we ran into one more little hurdle. The siren motor starter, the ancient one, is in fact fried. So that's one more component that needs to be replaced. So we're still maybe a week or 2 or 3 out. But if you haven't heard, we're bringing back the noon whistle that has blasted in Tivoli from about 1940 something up to about 2010. And so that is a big old siren on top of this building, and all the electronics are in a closet back through this room. And went out of service a decade ago. We're bringing it back, and for a lot of people, it's sort of charming and nostalgic, but more importantly, unfortunately, it's also going to be there for public safety. We did have a tornado even just a week and a half ago north of Tivoli, so it's going to be able to blow certain blasts. I believe it's like 3 long blasts for a weather event of concern, and then it'll blow 5 long blasts of different tone or length for a structure fire. So it's not going to go off every time the TFD drives it out of the building for structure fires. So, and the water tower project moving along. They're at least up to the knees. The beginning of the legs are up. The entire tank itself has been welded together. Tomorrow they do this process of X-raying the welds to make sure that they're successful. And interestingly, the process is they paint the tank on the ground, and then eventually when the legs are done, it gets picked up with a crane and put on top of the legs. So that should happen sometime in October. It's going to be pretty remarkable to see. Also, and I'll be sending out a big email tomorrow with all this information because I only got the details today. 5,600 feet of new water main are coming through our village. And this could start as soon as the 28th of this month. And it could go on as long as till next July. They build some extra days in there in the winter in case there's ice and snow. This is going to be new water main from basically Elizabeth up by the condominiums down Woods Road. And that stretch is absolutely our worst stretch where we've got the most breaks. So that's going to get done first. Then over the weeks and months, they're going to come eastward along Broadway, going past the firehouse, past this building, through the business district, through the intersection, cutting through all our crosswalks and restoring them, under the bridge, or through the bridge basically. They have to repave the whole bridge afterwards, up the hill and to the new water tower site. This is going to be a lot of construction. It's going to be disruptive. It's going to be inconvenient, but we need to do this. We're replacing pipes that are more than half a century old in many places. It's going to be 10 months of disruption for hopefully 50 years of solid water service. So it's going to be an ongoing communication between myself and the Water Authority and the contractor with residents to get them ready for when the construction is going to be in front of their house. At times, there's going to be no parking on Broadway. At times, people are going to have their water off for a very short period of time. It actually only takes them like less than an hour to switch your service from the old line to the new line. We're going to do our very best to give everyone about a week's heads up that, hey, in the next 6 or 7 days, your water's going to be off for an hour. The day before, they're going to say, yeah, it's really looking like tomorrow morning. But also, people are going to see this trench coming towards their house and probably getting ready to get them their new water service. So, I hope everyone can be patient and understand the big picture here. And I will do my very best to answer questions about it and to get the information out there so you can be least disrupted by, the detour around Pine Street, etc.
So this would be a really good time if anyone is not signed up for the village email list. This is a really, really good time to get on that village email list. Tell your friends and neighbors.
Very well said.
Because that's where we're going to get our warning that this is coming through your neighborhood. So good time to get on that list.
Yep.
I also want to point out, just to be aware that it may not flow like you think it's going to. And by that I mean the construction process. So it may be randomized where they'll do one section that appears disjointed from the next section that is addressed.
So, things come up, you get a week of rain, early frost, we'll see. But we'll do our best to communicate with you all. And I just want to reiterate, Saturday, September 26th, 3 to 5 o'clock. That's our opportunity to join the county conversation about police reform in Dutchess County. And we really want to encourage everyone to be on that call. Trustees, are there any other matters that we'd like to discuss? All right, well, thank you all very much. It is 7:47. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you, folks. See you next month. Thank you.